Hi everyone, welcome back. Today is April 3rd, 2018, and we're here for another installment of Crater, Craft Every Day or Create Every Day in the month of April. And what we're going to be talking about today is embossing. Ruth Inkwell asked a question about my embossing and how I do it. So I just want to go over it with you, what I have learned along the route of crafting. So to emboss, you need a few things. You need a machine that's going to emboss. You need an embossing folder. You need some paper. And you need some patience, I guess. So first I'm going to go over the machine that I use, which is a Textured Boutique. It's a cute little purse embossing folder machine. And it is from Sizzix. Although you don't need a Textured Boutique, you can use your Big Shot. If you have a Big Shot, you can use your Cuttlebug. You can use your Evolution. You can use your Spellbinders machine that you have. If you have Spellbinders, Grand Caliber, whatever kind of crank machine, or your Gemini, whatever you have, you can use to emboss. But this just comes with everything. So when I purchased this, I am quite sure I got it from Tuesday Morning when they had it for, I want to say $29.99. or $19.99. I can't remember. The price was not on the box. The good thing about this, it comes with instructions, which you really don't need instructions. You just put the little arm on there and you go from there. It comes with 2 embossing plates, and it tells you these plates are not for cutting. I'm not sure if anyone has out here that's cut with their plates before, but this is not a cutting plate, and you get a shim. Now let's talk about the fun part of embossing. There are so many different embossing folders out there, and I'll just share with you a few that I have that I've grabbed in this binder. This binder is either a Doris binder or a Recollections binder. I usually try to use my 60% off coupon to get them because they cost $30, I believe, and I don't want to spend $30 on a book that I can't read. But I usually, use a 60% off coupon and get it. So inside of this one, it has an assortment of, excuse the glare, assortment of random embossing folders. There is no rhyme or reason for that. I know a lot of people like to keep everything that they own alphabetically in categories. I just like to look through my stuff, and whatever grabs my attention I pull out. Like I had started doing this video before and I grabbed a folder out. But like you see this keys, they have a key one. Doris is getting better about putting this little picture right here on their embossing paperwork. The what is this called? I can't remember the name. It'll come up to me later. The tag, the flap, but it tells you, it shows you the picture, and on the back it tells you what it is. So I just keep those in case I can't figure it out by looking at it. So I just keep those. It's a lot easier to do. And I've pulled out this flower one, this flower embossing folder, because I want to show you all on there. Also, Consumer Crafts usually has a sale, and they had a $2 embossing folder sale. So I grabbed a few that I hadn't had or hadn't seen at the local store. Joann Fabric usually sells them 5 for $10, the $3.99, the $4.99 one. So, you can keep an eye on that. Joann usually sells stuff that people, you have to be looking for it to see. And these are at Michael's in the everyday, not the everyday, I think it's in the what's trending, I think. So I grabbed a few of those. And then if you go to your local Tuesday Morning, if you have a Tuesday Morning, they have these, or they had these, and I grabbed these, I want to say about 3 weeks ago. Dear Lizzie, this little bow, and I thought this would be cute because when I saw it, it made me think of breast cancer awareness. I'm not sure why. It's definitely not an awareness ribbon, but I thought about that, and I thought about making a cute Mom's Day card or something like that. And then I saw this Citrus Bliss, but it is a pineapple, and I was just like, this is cute. Pink paisley. And here's the SKU in case you're interested. I didn't see many people haul this in recent past, but that's because I only saw like 3 or 4 of these embossing folders. And then you can get some Sizzix embossing folders as well. And this is that one. And it shows you on the back of this one, it gives you some inspiration as well as right here. You can always go onto Pinterest as well and look it up. So what I've done, I'm going to show you a few examples. You've seen, we created one on the first day, April 1st we created, no, that was yesterday. So we did this yesterday. My dates are already running together. And what I did on these is I embossed and debossed. So this is the emboss side. You can see it's raised up right here. And I just took an ink pad and I just went over it. And then on this side, I flipped it over and the deboss side, which I think is better than the emboss side. Honestly, it's so pretty. And I just went over it like that. And I used the sentiment and I stamped down. That's a very, very simple, easy, quick, fun little thing you can do. Yesterday I was making, I want to make a, I'm not even sure why I want to make this because I'm not a coffee drinker at all. Well, I can't say at all because I do like the frappes from McDonald's. But I wanted to stamp out this little lawn fawn. And when I saw pumpkin spice, I did not think of coffee. I thought of orange or peach. So what I did is I took my embossing folder and I ran it through. I cut it in half and I inked it up. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to emboss something, so you'll see how it's done. If you have any more questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section, and I'll do my best to try and do a video for this month of April for Creta, or I will address it in another video. I am going to be releasing videos more than once a day for, so the Creta videos will be Creta videos, and then my regular scheduled, which I don't really have a schedule, videos will be my regular scheduled videos. Okay, so I want to share with you what I did with that flower embossing. And most of my embossing folders are Darice, and I do have a few that I purchased from overseas, but I can't figure out the measurements, so I haven't done them. I haven't ordered them. I only ordered a few. And then I have some smaller ones like the Disney brand. I have some of those, and those are from Provo, but I haven't found those in my unboxing yet, so I haven't been able to play with those. So with this one, I embossed it, and you can see it's raised. So we're going to go ahead and do one together. Okay, so in order to keep your paper from crunching and cracking and tearing, you don't want to just run this plain sheet of paper through your embossing folder. I mean, you could, and you just have to worry about the cracks if your paper cracks or not. But what I normally do is I just take some water, and this spray bottle I got from the Christmas tree shop when I lived in Connecticut. I love that store. Like that store and Tuesday Morning, if they were together, I would just definitely be a broke homeless crafter. And I just mist it a little. And this is not a mister, it's definitely a spray bottle. So I just hold it out like far away so it gets misty. Okay. And you can see that it's misted. And you can wipe the excess water off. I don't wipe the excess off. I just leave it like it is. I put it in the folder just like that. And if you're really concerned about the size of your paper, make sure you measure it out properly and make sure that it's not hanging off unless you want it to hang off. Okay? And then as this says, because it has instruction, it tells you what to do. So we use the single-sided sheet of paper. So now what we're going to do is we're going to keep our piece of bread, the first piece, down. We're going to put in some lettuce or tomato, and then we are going to put in the meat, and we're going to put on our other piece of bread. So that's our sandwich, just like that. The thing that you have to be careful of, and I definitely want to tell you that, is when you're going to be doing all that shuffling, make sure your paper doesn't slide around in there. And this is not cutting. It's not meant for cutting, although I'm quite sure people probably have cut it. And then you just run it through your machine. I'm going to run it through and come back. Okay, I didn't want the camera shaking because my camera stand is on the working desk, so I didn't want it to be shaking too much. That's why I did that off camera. So once you run it through, you open it up, and you should have something very nicely embossed, and there you go. What I will tell you is that when you spray the water on there, be careful because it could curl up. But if you're going to cut around or cut out, then that shouldn't be a problem. Now I'm going to share with you a different technique that I practiced a couple of years ago before I started making YouTube videos. I just wanted to see how it worked out, and I loved it. The only thing this time, I'm not going to use watercolor paper. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to ink up my embossing folder, and I want the emboss side to be inked up. So what I've done, what I'm going to do is I am going to take some inks, and these inks, as I was trying to say a couple of days ago, I don't know where they're from. They are a brand name, but I'm not sure who or what they are. And it's a few that come in here. I thought I got these from the Paper Pumpkin when I was subscribed to them, and I just put them all together, but I'm not sure. I couldn't even tell you. So I'm going to use this like red color, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to press the ink on just like that on the flowers. What I was afraid to do is what we're doing right now. In the past, because I was like, I need two. If I'm going to have one as a mixed media embossing, I need to have two. I don't want to damage the plain one. And this is like a mustard color yellow. But then I was just like, get over yourself. That's what you get these materials for, is to have fun and experiment and play around with. And so I don't have green, so I'm going to take this Vivid Chartreuse, and this is probably going to stain my yeah, we won't do this one. I don't want to stain it, although I probably could just take some cleaning solution and get rid of it. We're not going to stain it. We're going to get a green. We're going to use this little blue green right here, like sea foam, and we're going to do our stems. Okay. The one thing I don't like about these stamping pads, is that they're foamy. And I just don't know about the foamy ones anymore. Now that I've tried the ones that are not foam. Does that make me a ink snob? I don't know. Alright, and I didn't do that one side, which is fine. No big deal. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the exact same thing that I did before. Is I'm going to put my paper in, and I know the card is backwards, which is not a big deal. And we're going to close this, and I didn't spray it, so let's go ahead and quickly, well, I'll show you, unmist it so you can see if it has any cracks, and you can decide if you want to spray or not. And we have our sandwich. Alright, so you can definitely hear the paper tearing. You can definitely hear the paper tearing with it not being sprayed. And this is how it looks now. So I think it'll probably be prettier on that side versus this side. And this is how it's inked up. So now what you can do with just this right here is, I've seen this and I've never actually practiced it. We're going to do it today. So today is just about embossing. No creations will be created. It's just embossing fun. So you can take this and snip around the embossed portions. Okay. And you can just cut this down, and you can cut each one of these out for your liking. Now let me show you another crazy thing that I've done with this in the past. And I'm running out of solid paper to go through it, so I'm going to pull out a thinner slice. I think this is a 2x6, and it's going to be peach colored because that's what I have. And now what we're going to do is we're going to smear this. We're going to do the paper, and to get this off, you can just use a baby wipe this ink off. But we're going to leave it on for now. We're just going to be experimenting and having some fun. And matter of fact, I'm going to spray the embossing folder itself and run it through again with that really quickly, since we have some ink on there already. And then we'll come back. So we'll do this first since it's already there. this is not normally how I ink it up, but we're going to ink it just like this for this time. Yep. This little green thing is crazy. It doesn't want to work properly. That's okay. And blue, we could not get away with doing something with blue, right? And so this is hard. This is hard, 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 hard. I don't even know why. I still have it. I guess because I've been kind of using it as a different form of inking versus the normal way. Okay, so now we're going to, instead of spraying the paper, I'm going to spray the folder. Just like that. Not too much, but that's plenty. And now we won't have to worry about our paper tearing, because the embossing folder will definitely let it soak in some of that water. And now we're just going to make our sandwich again. I'm not sure about you, but sometimes when I'm crafting, I don't like to mess up the stuff. I don't know why. I've always been like that. Even as a child, I didn't want to ruin things that are supposed to be, you know, damaged. So I had to get over that when it came to creating craft stuff, because it definitely, you know, you're going to cut your paper up. You're going to damage your embossing plates. Your die plates. If you have a Cricut or a scan and cut or a silhouette, you're definitely going to damage that cutting mat. You're going to leave stains on your ink pad. So I just have to keep telling myself that. Don't get too wrapped up in the tools, as long as your tools work, because that's what tools are designed to do. And now, you didn't hear it before, but you hear zero crinking, cracking, because the paper is very well saturated, because we sprayed enough in the embossing folder to do that. And it's at the end of the take our sandwich apart. That's what my little one does, and there you have it. So overall, I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope it clarifies some things for you. If you have more questions on embossing or what you can do with it, let me know. And this one is still wet, and it kind of looks like a watercolor piece. But it's not. And I think that what I'm going to quickly show you is the deboss side and what you can do with the deboss side. So as I told you earlier, when you run it through, it could fold up on you. It's just the water. You know how water and paper don't really mix when it comes to water and paper. Water will beat paper all the time when it comes to that, because it's going to curl it up. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to be a little bit more mindful of where we're going to put our ink. So let me get that vivid chartreuse out. Okay, so I don't use the end like this. I know that some crafters like to do that, especially Barry. But I don't. I like to do it like this because I feel like I have more control over it like that. And at the end of this all, once I get to being a better crafter, I'm going to throw these all out once I've used them up. And I'm going to use these. But I don't want to use those yet unless I'm working on like a super fancy project that I feel like I've mastered this, and I'm just going to ink it up just like this. And then I'm going to go into the deboss. Now the deboss, and I'm going to just work it in just like that. And it doesn't have to be very nice and neat, because you're going to probably put something over this, but you know, this is like a off-white grayish color piece of paper, and I've just been trying to experiment with different colors versus the traditional colors that I'm used to. And what I've been doing is I've just, you know, wanting to try out different things. But you're going to probably put this on top of something and something on top of that. So I don't think you need to be super, super careful with the paper, because you're probably going to end up cutting something off anyway. But I just like for the backgrounds lately to be colored and used, have a different look to them. And all I'm doing is just dabbing this in just like that. and I am working it in the stems. And in the background, it is getting on there, which is fine, no big deal. And so I don't really have a technique to share with you all how I'm doing it. I'm just doing it to my eye to see how it looks. Again, I did learn this technique from Anna Griffin. Not this portion, but to color your embossing up. She was on HSN. I mean, she's always on HSN, right? But she was on HSN a couple of, I don't know, a long time ago. When I wasn't even into like hardcore crafting. I was just dabbling in it then, playing around with jewelry pieces and yarn to crochet. And then I was like, oh, I know a lot of people worship certain creators, or crafters, artists, whatever you want to call them. But I was like, that lady, who is this Anna Griffin lady? And I ran out to try to see, and I was like, oh, I see who Anna Griffin is. She has some expensive stuff on the market. So now we're going to put this to the side, and we're going to grab this one that I did do like that, the way that I feel like I don't have as much control over. I'm going to put on those tulips. Okay. And let's see if I can't fix that little smudge. I just like this way better. I don't know why. And then what are we going to do? We're going to make our sunflowery. This has been mixed in with another color. I think it was a green or whatever. And it comes out a little bit dirty looking. Which I kind of like. I'm not sure why and what's going on, like I said, with yellow lately. Mustard yellow or whatever. But yellow is quickly becoming a color that I enjoy crafting with. I guess because it's spring, it's so bright and cheery. And right now we need a lot of cheeriness going on in the world. So much craziness going on. People are doing things to people that is just unimaginable for no reason. There's no real reason for us to behave the way we are behaving as humans. And you would think that we know that, but we don't. We still tend to be out there when it comes to those things. Alright, so just going to apply. And look, it almost, like I said, looks like a watercolor piece, and we're just going to go ahead and rub this all over. I think because you can't, the reason why I like to fold it over is you can't really, unless I make a deep one, you can't really see where it stops and starts. Whereas with these you can. And so now what we're going to do, we're going to do the same thing, but embossed. And then you can decide if you like the embossed side of your embossing folder or the debossed side of your embossing folder. And we're going to work backwards this time. We're going to do the flowers first, even though we did those last. And this is a little bit lighter because we're running out of the ink on the applicator, the makeup applicator or sponge. Do you all use eBay? Not for like, well, for whatever. I like to bid on random stuff. And I won the other day. So I'm super excited about getting it in the mail. It's a movie to see. My little roommate likes Sesame Street now, which is awesome. When he was first born, of course, you know, when he was first born, he didn't really have an opinion. He didn't know. But I think when he was going to daycare, it was a little bit different for him because he had other influence. And now it's just he and I don't influence him on anything. I try not to, except for, I guess I do influence him on some things. Like some things I'm not going to buy for him or I don't approve of. Like I don't like SpongeBob, so we don't watch SpongeBob. I guess there's nothing against SpongeBob. I just don't like it. And when my mom was alive, she was like, you know, a SpongeBob was supposed to be for adults. That's why they have like bikini bottoms and blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, Mom. I can see that. Krusty Krab. Bikini bottom, I don't know. But then you have a squirrel living underwater in an upside down fish tank, I think. So, yes, I have watched it a few times. And I always try to give little cartoons a chance because, you know, they're capturing our youth's attention. But overall, I'm like, I don't know if I can support that. All right, so you can already tell the difference already. I still like both of them. You know, this is the one good thing about embossing folders. You don't really have to get anything fancy for embossing folders. You can just emboss or deboss, whichever one you find that you like the most. I'm just trying to get all that background. Like if you were real fancy with it, you probably could have got like a brush and or a dauber brush and actually daubed just that piece. But I am not real fancy with it. I am just a regular person who likes crafting. And I realize that it doesn't have to be beautiful to everyone as long as it's beautiful to me, right? So sometimes when I create things, I'm just like, this is not great. And other people are like, oh no, it's nice. I'm like, okay, sure. Thanks. All right. This little tulip is going to be the bane of my existence, huh? Guess because it's so small, I probably could have started with that one. Now I'm going to go back in with this green once more and try to cover that up. And then I'll, you know, you can decide which one you think. All right. I think I've went over just about all the stuff for embossing that I know. Okay, so I'm just going to try to rub some of that pink off. And I think I did an okay job. But what is it? I can't remember. Is it green and red? I think green and red turns to brown, so I got to be careful. I don't want to make wilted flowers. And I know yellow and blue make green, so we have to be careful with all of these things. We don't want to bring out the color wheel with these three little colors we've been using. So that is that on that aspect. Alright, so we are finished because we're at 27 minutes. Good grief. Alright, this is the embossed side. And this is the debossed side. Now what you can do is you can leave it like that, put it in a frame and put, you know, bloom where you're planted, friendship blooms, I don't know, Happy Mother's Day. I really like this because it does look watercolorish. And then at the bottom right, you can just cut this off. All right. So if you have any more questions about embossing, if you want to see me actually create an embossing project, let me know in the comment section. Let me know what you'd like to see in the month of Creta. Happy crafting.